Alrighty, Doc here from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. To start off with, whoa, there goes volume. Let's kill that volume. There we go. To start off with, tomorrow we're going to try to do early. Hey, Janos, how you doing? I got the sheets, but got no time now. Could you look at Tesla before the fundamentals drop? Sure. And as in got bad news will open very... Oh, is that Tesla's opening up very low? As in I got bad news and will open very low. Really? I see. Also, Janos, I would like to try to do my webinar 3 hours early tomorrow. I'm going to try it on a Tuesday. How's that sound? Let's see. Let's go to Tesla. Let's see. Where are you? Right. I know you're here somewhere. Right there. There we go. Yeah, we'd like to try to do the webinar a couple hours early again, 3 hours early. And we'll try that on tomorrow, Tuesday. Let's see. Right from there is Tesla. That is today. That's Friday. We've been in the sell from here anyway. And we're in a weekly sell going on a second week. Let's check what the data feed's doing. Yeah, it's got the regular hours. Let's see if we can get a pre-market in there. Pre-market. Yes. Yep, there it is. It is indicating it. I see it. Pre-market again. There it is in the weekly. The weekly's trying to bounce up from it. That's interesting. You can see right there. But the daily, look at that. They're down in the 252 area. So... yeah, we'd like to try to do that that thing we do, where we try to do 3 hours earlier. So at just to see on a Tuesday compared to doing it on a Monday. And there is Tesla, right there. And obviously it's pressuring down. Like I said, we've been in a daily sell since the 22nd. And so the pressure has been on that product all along. Yeah, I mean, obviously the whole market of that sector is pretty much in that camp, you know. I guess the best way to describe it is the Tech 100 in general is very interest rate sensitive. So they're feeling pressure constantly from this whole increase, decrease interest rate situation in the QE. Now, this morning, there's talk of, why don't you send today's title? Oh, okay, I will. The talk really is that because of what Britain did, the markets are firm today. You know, they're showing firmness. Now, you can see over on J4X, we've got, we got the dollar index moving down. You know, right there the last couple of days, and the pressure's on. You can see the green line down below it. Let me just check out the same situation right here, and then we can go back to Tesla and so we can discover anything else. You see right there, this is the fourth day in a sell with the dollar index, but still that weekly is acting very strong there. I saw where it was $20 billion they spent to prop up the Japanese yen. I thought that was interesting. But let's get back to the Tesla. Yeah, the Tesla, nobody should be really long this stock without hedged position, solely because we've been in a weekly and a daily sell for a couple of weeks now. This is going on the third week. But what's interesting is look at that nice little bounce. If the blue dashed line would have started to turn up too, it might mean something there. You know, hey Robin. So, let me think. What else can we say about that? I guess that's the Tesla. You know, it's been pressured for 2 full weeks now, and that's the interest rates, really. I mean, when you look at, let's do this, go like that, and then go like that. You know, when you look at the 30-year, now that's kind of interesting in many ways. You know, here's the 30-year; it's trying to bounce back up, actually. But again, that's probably because of Britain also. I mean, you know, that spike there was when Britain stepped in, and then you can see the strength is trying to, hold up. You can see the weekly's trying to turn. Unfortunately, when these, I guess we're going to see it. This is what's really going to happen, is that when the election's over with, and we see how it all plays out, we're going to see what frustration. Let's put it this way: what mistakes are being made by government institutions, like the FBI or the Federal Reserve and so forth, or the Justice Department, for trying to lean one direction versus another in political terms. In other words, it's gotten to a point where that's not normal for America. So we'll see what they do with that. I think they'll clean it up, and that'll only be better for the markets. As we take a sip of our tea. Yeah, I really do. I think that this is not going to be a witch hunt. This is going to be a cleaning up of the mess, basically. And it's not just the last 4 years or 2 years or 9 years. It's been going on for decades, and I think the American population has gotten fed up with it. So we're going to see a lot of this, and we'll see how markets react, and what Doc's been talking about for months upon months and years upon years. So, that's really where we're at. This could be the dawn of a cleaner, more efficient America, like the way it was for the first couple of years with Trump. And if that happens, economically, things could be very positive very quick. I mean, the inflation is not necessarily... How do I phrase this? The inflation is not normal in the sense of the way it is, because it's state sponsored. That's the weird part, is that we wouldn't have this inflation if we just would keep on drilling and so forth. None of it. It's all state sponsored. It's very weird. Anyway, how do you get a job at a hedge fund? Did you apply or did you contact? Oh God, that's a very secretive universe. I can describe some of it. If it's private, don't need to answer. No, it's a very secret industry. It's a very closed, hidden industry. Let me tell you a little simple story with that question, because it's a very good question. Because there's always people out there that want to understand how to go further inside this whole universe. But as a member of an exchange trading on the floor, we always used to refer to them as upstairs people. That's it. We had no idea who upstairs people were. We just always blamed, when orders came in to do different things, we called them upstairs people, or institutions. But after a long fight to get into that universe, which is I found out mainly that it's pretty much a secretive universe. Now there's websites you can go to. There's an actual hedge fund, job website, and there's a couple of things like that out there. And I can hunt them down and have it for you tomorrow. But it's a very secretive world, because it's a very proprietary world. They really, in other words, they're really trying to, what's the best way to describe this? They're trying to exemplify. I didn't want to use that word. Exemplify. What that word means is that they're trying to project, or they're trying to convince that they have a secret. And if you put your capital with them, they'll make you money with that secret. Now, as far as I'm concerned, most hedge funds are, they're all upside down. They're losing money the whole bit. But there's a few like Renaissance that have successful years in and out, irregardless of their the type of markets we're in. Big up markets, down markets, sideways markets. Because they're a long short fund. Now I can tell you this. And I'll finish. This will finish it off basically, and that is when I had my hedge fund. There were only out of 6,000 hedge funds, there were only like 3 or 4 competing with me. It was like Renaissance, us, and 1 or 2 others. Long short funds, as much as they all claim in the hedge universe that they like to do, they always put it in their manifesto of incorporation that they will do long and short. They're not long short hedge funds. There's an actual category. And when you go and look at the category, long short hedge funds are very rare, because that means you have to be trading the options and derivatives and trading volatility, and a much more conservative. I guess in many ways it's a much more conservative way of trading, and it's a much more profitable way of trading. So I hope that answers that question there. Sounds like a scam in most. Totally, Janos. As usual, you basically break it down to the basic fundamentals. Yeah, that's why the 20 and the 20 and 2. In other words, 20 and 2 means you'd get 20% of the profits, and you get 2% of a management fee. Has fallen. A lot of hedge funds out there now are working for 10 and or 15 and 1, or 15 and 20 for 0.75%. That's been going on. Now, something like a Renaissance, I forget what we were. We were like a 30%. We were 30 and 2. Renaissance bounces between 35 and 40 and 2. And so when you're a long short fund, like I said, we ran our fund for 1 full year. We were up 26%. I shut it down because I didn't want to participate with it anymore, because it was too small and too slow as far as I was concerned of the return, because I was playing it conservative and more conservative than normal, and only had a 26% return for the year. And I thought, this is no fun. I can go do it with my own money instead. So that's the real universe itself. It's a very secretive universe. And it's a lot of hidden money, and I think the hedge. I'll put it up tomorrow. The hedge fund industry has been beat to death. It's in horrible shape because they rode the long. Well, what's her name? Robin. What's that woman's name that you've been following that stock on? That she's from the Tigers. She's from Julian Roberts' operations. She's a derivative off of that. I mean, she's down like 50 or 60% in her fund. I mean, a lot of these hedge funds, they claim to be long and short, but most of them, like 99.9% of them. Oh, that's it. Kathy, yeah, ARK, exactly. So they like to project, they like to project this secretive, brilliant mind. But overall, I would worry like Janos. Go to the P&L. See what they've done for the last 5 years. And in an up market, it's not hard to make money. But in a down market for the last 2 years, it's hard to make money. And if they're not making money, stay away from them, because they're not really a long and short fund per se. They're not. Let's put it this way. Even when they say that they're using long and short side trading, they're not a long short fund. They just say that in their manifesto. We were an actual long short fund. And that's defined. Kathy Wood, that's it. Kathy Wood. Yeah, and that's a perfect example of it. They just leverage their portfolios out to the max and try to get little returns as far as I'm concerned. I hope that answers you. Who was that? That was Kimbo. We'll go after it. We'll go after it again tomorrow. I'll find the websites and be able to put them up on the screen for you. And I have a folder somewhere for it. I keep on telling myself I'm going to look through it and see if Robin and I can use it to prospect a little bit for Chicago Quant Technologies, but I never seem to get around to it. All right, from there, I guess I got the euro up there now. Yeah, so there's the euro. And you can see the euro trying to back off a little bit. Just like there's the dollar index right there. Okay, no, that's it. Let me just go back to the dollar index real quick just to get out of that area of expertise. And there it is there. Yeah, dollar index down just a little bit, just a little pressure. And we keep on expecting to see something like that. I really do. I really think that the dollar is going to bring itself back down into this area here. So, and then it means probably more than likely the 108 area, 109 area for the dollar index, right there. All right. From there, let's see, where do we go? Oh yes, back to the pairs trades. No, that's not the pairs trade. Yeah. So I hope I answered your question on Tesla. We've been in a weekly sell for a couple of weeks, and this is going on a third week. But look at the way it's bouncing up. This could be interesting this morning. Not to keep not as much this morning, but this week. Definitely we can. What we'll do, Giannis, we'll put it up on the screen again tomorrow or Wednesday, that type of thing. We'll keep a track of it. See how we'll show you tomorrow how it closed out today, and then we'll keep track of it. Is that what it is? 4%? That's not too bad. I forget what's going on wrong now, but there's always something. They're always in a lawsuit somewhere about something. I don't know. There's always something like that going on. 4.8, yeah. It's always something in there with Tesla. Tesla's I guess it's got a target on its back all the time anyway, because it's Tesla. And Elon Musk is definitely exotic in his own way. All right, let's get over to the currencies again there. There's the euro. You see that? It's trying to, I don't know what it's trying to do at this point. I guess it's trying to roll over again because we're in the weekly sell. Let's see how what's this say? It says, automakers sold fewer than expected vehicles in the third as deliveries lagged way behind production due to logistic hurdles. Yeah, that makes sense. It does. Tesla slides as logistics issues widen deliverances and production gap. Yeah, overall, let's go back to Tesla just one more time and just take a look at it stretched out. I mean, overall, it's not in the worst of shape. Oh, no, that's not Tesla. Right there's Tesla. Yeah, it's up. I guess you could say it could be doing like an A, and this was the B, and now we're doing a C, and maybe they're going to go back to the $200 area. Last time it was in the $200 was back in September of 2001. So maybe if it's going to do anything, they'll put pressure on it into that region. Yeah, we'll post it tomorrow. How it closed out today. We'll look at that. All right. Let's see. Back to the currencies. Unless someone wants to see something. If anybody wants to see anything, believe me, I'm glad to stop and go hunt it. Take a look at it. Now there's the euro. As we said, it's trying to bounce up a little bit. Let's see what J4X is doing with the euro this morning. There it is right there. It's got some green going on just like we are over in here. See all that green for a bunch of days. And it's in a buy and it's trying to lift up. And would be nice to see this thing go into a weekly buy. That would definitely give us some signs of life. Let's take a look at the cable. There's the cable. Cable's doing pretty much the same thing. 3 days in a buy. It's lifting up. And the weekly's really trying to get going there. Now I understand that because of the I guess the regeneration of quantitative easing in England, she's talking about backing off some of the tax cuts, which I think is bad. Tax cuts are good; they're not bad. Back them off. Grow the economy. You get more tax dollars in when you lower taxes. Raise taxes and you actually lose. So money tries to find a way to be productive. Maybe the government's not going to be productive, but believe me, private investors try. So there's cable, and it's trying to lift up, and you can see the green and the blue through the manifold right there. The green and the blue dashed, trying to lift. And we get this histogram and all these things up into the plus side. Could be a good sign here. Because if they start the supply side economics, I know she's stalling out a little bit or panicking, but if they start that, that could be the beginning of a very healthy Great Britain. There it is on J4X, the same thing. It's starting to lift up and showing life to it. Maybe it gets back up to that 115.16 area again. All right, from there we drift over to the Swiss. I heard, was it Swiss? One of the banks, not us, but what was it? Credit Suisse? Is it Credit Suisse? I think it's Credit Suisse is having issues. So let's take a look at the Swiss franc. No wonder the Swiss franc is being the Swiss franc. You know, in other words, it keeps on lifting up, and I'm really surprised that it's not rolling over. And maybe that's the problem. I understand that the CDS is really freaked out a little bit this morning, but then we've been seeing that. What did we call it on Friday or Thursday? We did a webinar. And we called swaps are dinosaurs. I mean, really, with the listed options market and the black pools of options trading, why would they even waste their time going to a bank anymore? I don't understand why they would do a swap with an organization, honestly. And you can see here, what is that? That's the Swiss. It's trying to get back into the daily buy. Now, the weekly went down to the time manifold right there. But, you know, I guess last time it went down to the actual zero line, bounced. After it went into a buy here, it went down, challenged it, and came back up again. So we're really seeing some problems there with the Swiss, and maybe that's what's really haunting it. And that is that Credit Suisse, is it? Let me just double check. I think it's Credit Suisse that's having the problems. Let me just double check. I just don't want to say the wrong institution. Treasury market breakdown. There's also talk about the same. Oh yeah, Credit Suisse. It is Credit Suisse. Shares hit record low. CDS spiked to record high after CEO letter backfires. What do you do? Try to apologize or something? I'm sorry for being stupid. That's pretty much what it comes down to. Why did they do that? Don't tell us you're stupid. Stop doing stupid things. All right. So, from there, where do we go from there? We go over to there. Let's see. Let me see. From there, we go over to the Turkish Lira. So there's a Euro Turkish Lira looking firm in here. Also in a buy. Right there. And the strength signal has been in effect. Let's fix that one. I've started putting them on charts because people seem to be a little oblivious. As much as we put a little dotted line color-wise, it's probably smarter to reinforce the idea even more. There it is. So you can see right there, and let's see if we can save that. Save workspace. There we are. So you can see here, Turkish Lira is moving back up again. Wonder what they're doing to the dollar Turkish Lira. I think it hit the 19 number. That was wild. Yeah, somebody must have panicked. I mean, it's on J4X too. So someone panicked. You know, they thought the world was coming to an end. Let's see. Swiss central bank steps up policy tightening as sight deposits drop 78 billion. 78 billion. Wow, that's a lot for them. What is up with the Swiss? Yeah, I know. And that's your parent company too. Not Credit Suisse. I'm talking about the Swiss Bank. Yeah, the Swiss are a parent company. So, I don't know. I would imagine that, we talked about this when the yen was down at 115, 114, and we saw Swiss ran to 100, and we saw the yen taking off at the same time, going up. So, it seems like the inflation is really interfering. In other words, I guess, here you go, Robin. Yeah, Robin. Janos, this is probably what, I just thought of this just as I'm talking out loud to myself and to the world here. I guess Swiss were doing good banking, okay? In other words, normal banking, good banking. And then what happened was, they're involved in quantitative easing with everybody else. And then this inflation thing kicks out. And you can see the effect on pairs. We talk about that. I think we've even labeled a webinar or 2 or 3 about that too. The inflation has been very influential on these pairs and the marketplace enormously, which it should, of course. But then you got to figure that the hedges have been removed at the same time. So in other words, everybody was used to the idea you get inflation, you go buy gold, everything's fine. And gold goes up in value, compensates for the loss in equity, and all good. But here you have gold trading $500 underneath its all-time high, and we're at 40-year highs in inflation. So that really tells you, that Doc is more right than wrong when it comes to time to move away from swaps, time to move away from the banks trying to sell you ideas, time to hire some people that actually understand option derivatives and binaries and how to hedge their pipelines. That's what they refer to it in the mortgage industry. They refer to when you're a loaner of money and you float these things. What they do is they call it a pipeline, and what they do is they create like a mortgage. You're going to go buy a house, you have to have a mortgage, and someone's got to create that mortgage. It's got to be an entity. It's got to be something that that a customer can buy. You got to make it, and so I think that's what we're really seeing. And so I think that's what's up with the Swiss. I think that the Swiss really weren't prepared. Like, I guess when you have the Federal Reserve rambling over and over about, what did they call it? Not fleeting. Transitory inflation? Temporary inflation? I don't know. Was it transitory? Temporary? I don't know. They had some stupid name for it for over a year. We're watching inflation go up. We're talking about it a whole 12 months, or not. I guess it was. We started talking about it in June of 21. They start talking about it in May of 22, where they say it's not transitory anymore, or temporary. And so transitory. Okay, good. Thanks, Robin. And so that's the problem. Is I bet the Swiss bankers, some of them were irresponsible, just like with the the collateralized debt obligation crash of 2008 that destroyed the banking system across the planet. And so I guess that's what it comes down to, is that they're too dedicated in their banking ways now to the QE than they are in the old-fashioned conservative park the money and hide it, invest it concept. And so for 100 and some odd years or 200 years, Switzerland did that, and everybody was happy. Now it's the other way around. They joined the gang in essence. They're part of the stupid ones, where some of them, obviously, like we had it over here. We did have PM and Merrill Lynch and I'm trying to think who else. Wachovia. You have some of the majors disappeared. So you could literally say 5 companies that were stupid, and with that there are 5 companies that were smart. So you got to figure half of Switzerland or a third of Switzerland's banking people are probably investing foolishly. It's getting disconnected? Is it really? Bummer. Let me see, because I haven't gotten any warnings. That's odd. Let me. You know what? I'm going to keep my volume up so that I can hear me. Okay, there we go. You hear the warnings. Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Look at that. OBS Studio reconnection successful. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, we've got this storm is enormous. We got hit by 800. Let me say this. Let me lower this volume. I can't take listening to me because I can't. There we go. Now I like listening to me because I'm lower. This storm was enormous that hit us, and it's still touching like Cuba. It's massive, and it's now all the way out to England, and it's hitting us right now. And we got hit from the sun last week on 800 kilometer a second solar winds. Boy, did it put energy into this storm. I mean, normally those things are 300, 250 kilometers per second solar winds off the sun. You know, but wow, talk about action. Yeah, 800 kilometers a second. You know, that's a lot of speed really quick. You know, and that's, you know, that's the big part of it all. So, I'd imagine that's what's going on. I mean, I've never seen a storm this big. It's enormous. It's all the way to Ireland and England now, and we're getting hit with it still on the East Coast here. And when you look south where it came from, it's still connected to like Cuba and Jamaica and Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico. It's like, whoa. That's what happens when solar winds kick up, you know. That's really powerful stuff. You know, I watch the solar winds every day. You know, I watch it. There's a detector that shows solar winds, and it's like, wow. All right. Anyhow, it's probably had an effect on the internet also at the same time, but I'm not seeing any problems, and I can hear me in the distance softly, so that's good. And so we'll keep track of all that. There we are. All right, from there, so that's what I think is going on with the Swiss banking system. I do. I think that just like during the collateralized debt obligation crash of 2008, that's the CDOs that destroyed half the banking system. I mean, you know, like what? Well, I told you the ones in America. You know, you had, you know, Lloyd's of London went out the door, and you know, Bank of Scotland went out the door, Santander went out the door, Deutsche Bank gone. I mean, it's there because no one will touch it because of the swaps. They, you know, when they got hit, they had 72 trillion, or was it 73 trillion? Something like 72 to 73 trillion in swaps. That's why Commerzbank of Germany couldn't buy and merge with Deutsche Bank. It's just too much debt. I mean, the GDP of Germany is only $4 trillion. So, I mean, how does Germany deal with a situation like that? Now, we had the same thing. Oh, I forgot to mention also, Citi went under also here in Citi. So JPM Chase did fine, but Citi went under. They're owned by the Federal Reserve still. So that's, you know, they were basically at parity with Deutsche Bank. That's why no one can buy them, and that's why their stock trades at bankruptcy prices to this day. What they did is they did a 10-for-1 reverse split. So for every 10 shares you had of Citibank in New York, now you have 1 share. They do a reverse split, not more, but less. Transitory connections. Yeah. Yes, it is. And see, I hear the warnings. There were 3 reconnections. Looks okay now. Okay. And so, let's see. Transitory, exactly. Transitory. Crazy. Just crazy. And so I would assume that that's what's going on in Switzerland right now. There's probably like a third of the banks there, or like Credit Suisse or something like that. It's probably totally locked to the hip to that stuff. Hey, 47, how you doing? Hey, George. Yeah, check that out. Silver. Let's go see what silver's doing. There's silver. Yeah. Sooner or later, it's got to get going. I wonder what they're doing to platinum. You can see that. And you see we closed in a weekly buy last week too. So you have a daily buy and a weekly buy in silver. Hooray! Finally! Hooray! And you can see the weekly on gold is having its issues right there. And I'm going to jump over to platinum. Ah, look at that. Platinum is through the buy again, like they did 2 weeks ago and then failed. Let's see if it does it now. This is what we've been talking about for 4 months, looking for this time zone, this time period to start getting some real strength. So is silver going to lead us up? Wouldn't that be cool, huh? Banking system is shaking time 4. Let's see, times 4. Gold and silver. Yeah, maybe they're just reaching for something solid. You know, I kind of think that they're going to, I think that they're going to be buyers of this stuff going into, because I think that we're going to clean up this mess in the end result. And that's what it really comes down to, is that we need to clean up this mess. Because it is a mess. There's no other way to describing it. The whole system is upside down, and it's got to be it's just got to be cleaned up. It really does. But anyhow, that is what it is. Let's jump over to, let's see, 47. Any interest in? I saw the Nikkei was up over the overnight. That was pretty cool. It was positive. Hooray for them, huh? All right. From there, where do we go from here? Let's go over to, we just looked at all 4 metals. Oh, we didn't look at copper. Let's see what they're doing to copper since we did that, and we'll go finish off the currencies. Copper's selling down. I guess that's the China thing again. They got so many problems in China. It's just it just builds and builds and builds. Unfortunately, there's just not a. It's very tough, I mean, we saw last week youth unemployment at all-time lows. I don't even know if they do that stuff. I mean, I'm a little confused. I thought they're communists. Why do they even care about this employment stuff? All right, from there, where did we leave off in the currencies? We were looking at, we were looking at the Turkish Lira. Let's just go back over there real quick. I'm going to close that out. All right, right there. So there's Turkish Lira. It's looking firm. It's trying to lift up. I guess that's the dollar Turkish Lira. That's like an index, so it just keeps on rolling that way. But we're seeing it in the Euro Turkish Lira, where it's in a buy also, and it jumped back into the weekly last week, right? No, it didn't. It just missed it last week. So do we have that right? Let me just double click that. Gasoline, yeah. So right now it's just, it's plus. Okay. And we were minus last week. Okay, so it just, that zero line needs to be moved up a little bit more. But today it's actually plus. See that right there? It's 0.0030 on plot 1, and plot 4 is 0.0054. So it's trying to lift in there. So we could actually throw a little circly thing in there for today, like that. Because it is trying to get plus. Move that up like so. Let's save that. There we are. All right, from there, let's jump over to CAD. There's Canadian. You see it's moving down, so oil obviously is moving up. Let's put oil up over on J4X. Right there, there it is. So it's trying to move up, and Canadian is trying to head down. And that would make sense there. And then vice versa, when we do it this way, we put, I know it's trying to go into the sell. I saw that earlier too, and I sent it out that way. but it's trying to lift up. I understand Saudi Arabia came out and said they're going to cut 1.5 million barrels or something like that. So that's got them a little freaky deakied. And then we'll go put the Canadian up on J4X. Right there. So this should start to roll over. You can see the green line is moving down. And then it tried to lift up a little bit here. We'll see how well that lasts. Was it on our work again? Let's just double check it, and then we'll go on to the next one. And it's still in the buy also. All right. And in that weekly buy, look at that. Then from there we go over to the South African Rand, which is trying to go down, which is gaining value that way. But you can see it's still in a daily buy. And at the same time, we saw gold. Gold is doing its best to just be sideways. Look at $1,666. So whereas silver is taking off finally, and I guess what they're doing is they're buying the spread. That's what it comes down to. So they're selling gold, buying silver, and possibly buying platinum too. I guess when you put the three of them together, that's probably the best pairs trade of them all. It's a tri-pair trade, or tri trade. And then let's see. So that's the gold. So then we go and look at the gold again, like this. And there is the gold, and it's up just barely up a little bit, but it's in a daily buy. It is fighting, and the weekly is looking healthier, and so that's a good thing. I wonder where the let's put the dashed line in. I want to see where that's at. Style. There we are. Yeah, it's lifting too. All right, from there we drift over to the yen. And there's the yen. Like I said, I read today where they spent $20 billion propping it up. That's not too bad. They got plenty of do-re-mi to do that. And you can see it right here. The yen is still in the buy. It's cruising along. Everybody's happy. And it's in that weekly buy. So, you just have to... That just kind of says somewhere along the line, to me at least, I think, the dollar is going to keep on climbing. It's going to keep on finding ways to go up in general, not just against the yen. And let's put it over here. There's the yen, right? Where's the yen? Right there. Then from there, we zip to the Mexican peso. Look at the south of the border, and that's doing its job nicely. It's didn't challenge the bottom this time, and it's still needing to try to get into the buy. It hasn't done that, but it's holding on to that weekly buy by its teeth. Tough. We'll see how they carry that over into the next. Let's see, bank. Okay, so that's pretty much the name of the game there. All right. What do we do from here? From here, we go over to usually the metals market. So we've done the metals market. So why don't we do this? We'll go see the energy market. And we'll put Brent up there. And there's Brent trading almost 90. 89.46. And when we... Did we do the South African? Yeah, we did. And so, that's right, the Canadian. So when we looked at the Canadian before, you could see there's the front month. It's trying to lift. Now it's through it. Look at that 9 right there. It's plus again. And the weekly is trying to kick out. And then when we go into the back month, the January right there, it went into the sell on Friday, and we're losing on that. See that? We can't be perfect, traders. And so it's actually losing some do-re-mi, and it's not lifting up. So I don't know. Maybe this is going to be fleeting, and they're going to roll this thing over again. This is just noise. But in the end result is hence why we use stops or we use options, one or the other. What else can we say about that? I guess that's about it. And you can see Brent trying to do the same thing, trying to lift up. But it's been trying to lift for a couple of days here throughout that whole thing. And we were in a buy. And then Friday, that slammed down in the back month. Put some pressure on that. And but not obviously in the front month. The front month knew better. So they probably bought the front and sold the back. The contango. And then from there, let's take a look at U.S. natural gas. We had to readjust our natural gas. We saw new data came in on it. And so it's been in a sell for a while, just like that. Remember, we were in a buy for like 3 days or something like that. Where's it at? We could probably open up a chart from a couple of days ago. It was reflecting daily buy for like 3 or 4 days. And now, there it is. This is cleaned up correctly from the exchange. Some data came in. Someone's front running something. Someone's hiding trades as usual. And then all the data came in and it changed the numbers. And you can see here, I think we were in a buy from here. From the 28th for like 3 or 4 days. And then over the weekend, I opened it up and the data came in and I was like, whoa, look at that. Getting smashed down. So we're still in that sell for a while, and we're in that weekly sell, so you couldn't take the longs anyway. But you just missed opportunity, that's all. And it's better to miss opportunity than take a loss, like we're doing in back month Jan crude. All right, and then from there, that's the nat gas of November. Let's check out that Spanish company and see if they're trading in the 23s. There it is right there. Gas Nacional. No, that was in the 2340s area. They've jumped back up to 2429. Now I understand that Poland had a deal with Norway, and they finally, they've been building this pipeline for natural gas into Poland, and it was opened on Saturday or something like that. So they're getting natural gas out of Norway now. Hungary is supposedly the only country left getting natural gas out of Russia. And that is that. All right, from there, as I sip my tea, so I guess that's the end of the energies. And what we could do is we could go take a look at the stock indices. Now here's the stock indices. You can see the Tech 100 is up 95 points basically. 94.75, now 96. Now 94.25, 94.75, 95.25, 96, back to 94. Kind of hesitant because we got about 11 minutes. See, please, also the Nikkei. Yes, definitely. Let's go check out Nikkei. We'll do that first. There it is right there. Nice spike, but it was in a buy for this little slip and slide. Unfortunately, it's in a weekly sell. So I went into the sell here on a daily, and it's been in a weekly sell for a while. And then I guess right there it went into the daily buy right there. Oh, no, I didn't mean to do that. So I went into the sell there. Let's fix that like that. There we are. You can see the weekly is turning up. It's trying its best. Let's see if it gets through the zero line. That is one nice looking spike. We haven't seen something like that in a while. And it's in the daily buy. You can see all this stuff right there. Let's see. Please also Nikkei. See what else. What other ones do you like to look at too? You look at. Well, we're going to go to the stock indices, the other stock indices at the same time. So, if you have something else you want to see, just shout it out. We'll go after it. So you can see here the Tech 100 now trading at 88 instead of 95, and you can see here Bitcoin is down $205, which is curious. Usually, look at the Dow up 360. And the S&P 500 is up 42. And so now you can see they're right back to 94.5, 95, 96, 94. And this is still minus. Interesting. Let's see, what's the bid and offer? 19,220 bid. It's trading with a decent market. Oh, yes, S&Ps. Let's go to daily S&Ps. So there's the daily S&P. It's trying to lift up. You can see these things are turning. We got our weeklies showing some life in them, but not enough to get too excited yet. The daily is having a problem getting into a daily buy today. Been in that sell like the Nikkei was. Only thing is it never went into the buy here at all. And then from there, we go check out the NASDAQ or the Tech 100. Same situation. It did go into a buy for a little bit and back into a sell again. And now it's flirting with the upside. And this is curving also. And we need to see this strength kind of move into the Tech 100, you know. Let's see. I see something there, Robin. What's that? Gender rights?
This incredible device removes 50 times more
Okay.
wax than cotton swabs.
Let's see what that says. Let's just pause that. Okay, I was making sure you didn't send me a message that was important. Threat level midnight bobbleheads. We'll check that out. Okay, and so from there we go over to the I guess go over to the S&P, the Dow Jones Industrial Average. We'll go check that out. Let's show you the weekend one. Can we show you the weekend? Yeah, I guess there it is right there. There it is right there. You know, it's trying to lift. Also, it's been in the sell, and the weekly is trying to turn up. So stock indices are trying to turn. I guess they're pretty shattered at this point. You know, like I said, these hedge funds are not the most brightest bunch. So they may be conservative, but they're surely, you know, you can't grow by being conservative. You've got to be aggressive at the same time. That's what options and binaries do. They allow you to be aggressive but conservative financially. And that's the most important thing of all. You know, you need, as Kudlow says, you need growth. You got to have growth. You know, stability is not a good thing. And then let's check. I think we saw this. This is the Russell 2000. We saw that it was acting the same way. It had the daily buy. It went into the sell here. Let's put that in. So it went into the sell right there. And then it went into the buy right here. And it's still in the buy. Now we just need the weekly to get going. Let's fix that like so. Yeah, so it's in the buy. It's trying to hold up. You can see the weekly is trying to turn. So that's now this is the most speculative of all the stock indices. This is the Russell 2000. So they're trying to lift that. Also, let's open something else up. I'm going to show you. This is the one I put out over the weekends. This goes to all the old traders and the Dukascopy people that want to see it and so forth. I just send it out. Where's it at? Right there. Fuzzy screen. Yeah, I see that. No, it looks all right here. Now this is the VIX. You see the VIX is trying to turn up. It's still in the weekly buy. So that's kind of impressive. That's the volatility index. Then at the same time, here's the Dow Jones Industrial Average. And it's flirting. It's banging along this red line for a while now. The red line's been existed from this point, from that point. And that's what we do is these points here kind of change. That's how you come up with the lines. We used to call that green dots up and green dots down on the trading floor, for those that followed my math back in the 80s, in the 1980s. So you see there, we got some room to run. We could get back up over to 30 freak some of the shorts out, watch them cover, and then that could be the rumor. This could be the beginning of the rumor. In other words, you always say buy rumor, sell news. Well, the rumor is that the Republicans are going to take a super majority in the House of Representatives, which will eliminate Mr. Biden as any real influence over economics whatsoever. Anything. He'll have no ability to do pretty much almost anything. He'll be almost ceremonial to a great extent. So you can see the lines here. The green, has been held, all the way back to, what is that? Let's see how far back we go with it. That's August. Let's do this. Let's open up. We can open up another one too. I save a couple of the back months because I watched this, and so let's see. Where's it at? Where's the chart? Pictures? Maybe that's it. Yep, there it is. No, not that. That's not it either. There it is. And here is the September one. Let's see if I can find it right there. And so there's August. Does it go back to that? It doesn't. Okay, so then let's do the spring contract, June. So it was up in the 36 area. We started breaking down. It did turn here once and then fell down again. What was that? That was in June. So, matter of fact, I think I don't have to do it that way. I'm wrong. I don't even need to do it that way. I have it on here. So we can tighten it up. There it is right there, September. So when we go and look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average, we would get these sell signals there. They'd turn it up. You can see the green dash line, make the lines lighter. And then that's where we left off. We've been basically pushing down since August. And that's where we are now, is in the December contract. Right there. And there's the August. And you can see it's just been, haven't been able to take out these green lines really. I mean, they go up and play with them. This one was a leap over it a little bit. And then, because that was there to there. And then, just one pop over and fell back down again. So maybe we're going to get a run up into the 30,000 area on the Dow Jones Industrial Average at this point. It wouldn't surprise me any. There's a little confusion about the QE. I think that's what it comes down to. All right, traders, we're out of here. Tomorrow we will be on 3 hours earlier. 3 hours earlier to see if it helps out questions and so forth. So this is Doc from North America. Tomorrow we will be on 3 hours earlier. Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. Later, traders. Catch you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Early.